Oops, well, okay, Mao's genocide in Tibet, the systematic genocide of the Tibetan people. Chinese terror in Tibet reached a peak during the Cultural Revolution when all religious institutions were banned, temples were demolished, monks and nuns were murdered and raped. And for 48 years, Communist China had in the 48 years that Communist China had occupied Tibet, there had been 17% decrease in the Tibetan population. That's 1 million people, and 6,000 monasteries ruined. There's the body of a Tibetan monk. Stalin and Darwin. At a very early age, when still a pupil at a religious school, Stalin was studying to be a priest in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Comrade Stalin developed a critical mind and revolutionary sentiments. He began to read Darwin and became an atheist, according to E. Yarolavsky, Landmarks in the Life of Stalin, published in 1940, a pro-Stalin book. Stalin was responsible for 43 million deaths, according to this source. Most of the deaths, perhaps around 39 million, are due to lethal forced labors in gulags. Why did Stalin do this? Because he was an atheist. He didn't have a moral foundation based on God's word, on the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not commit murder. Stalin committed more murders than anybody except Mao Zedong. What can we expect? He read Darwin and became an atheist. Darwinism and communism, the consequences of an atheistic, evolution-based worldview. In April 1935, during the Great Purges, Stalin decreed that children as young as 12 could be killed. For what? For stealing a loaf of bread? It's his system that bankrupted Russia and may have caused millions or thousands of 12-year-olds to steal a loaf of bread. And he wanted to put them to death after that. The hypocrisy of it all. But yet, this is what a secular, communistic, and atheistic mindset brings. There are no morals, no absolutes. It's what you feel is right. Communist dictator and evolutionist Joseph Stalin. Darwinism and communism. This guy here, Pol Pot, there's the killing fields. From 1975 to 79, the communist dictator, the communist Khmer Rouge, under the leadership of communist and evolutionist dictator Pol Pot, executed more than a third, or 2 million people, of the entire Cambodian population. This is according to the 1994 Guinness Book of World Records, page 460. The killing fields. A movie was made about the killing fields. I've seen the movie. I was horrified. Darwinism and communism. Communism has claimed more than 100 million lives. Who knows that the communist Holocaust, by the way, who here has heard of the communist Holocaust on secular TV? No one. It's one of the biggest kept trade secrets. Every now and then you may hear something about Stalin, but you never hear them criticizing Castro. You never hear them criticizing Kim Il-sung, Erich Honecker, Tito, or any of the communist dictators. Why? Because they love communism, because they're evolutionists. They're a kindred spirit with them. Who knows that communist Holocaust has exacted a death toll surpassing that of all of the wars of the 20th century combined. This is from the victims of communism.org. Darwinism has its roots, communism has its roots in Darwinism. According to Stephen Jay Gould, no friend of Christianity, biological arguments for racism may have been common before 1850, but they increased by orders of magnitude following the acceptance of evolutionary theory. Really. Racism, Darwinian racism, it fueled Nazism's oppression. Jews are lower animals, monstrosities halfway between ape and man. Those who do not want to fight in this world of eternal struggle via natural selection do not deserve to live. That's from Mein Kampf. There's the results. Thank you, Mr. Darwin. Nazism drew its inspiration from Darwin. Hitler was captivated by evolutionary teaching, probably since the time he was a boy. Evolutionary ideas, quite undisguised, lie at the basis of all of the worst in Mein Kampf. In his public speeches, Adolf Hitler reasoned that a higher race would always conquer a lower race, according to the book Darwin Before and After, written in 1958. There's the citation if someone wants to take it down. By the way, I have some PowerPoints on CD for sale at the end of the conference, and Fred will help you with that. If you're interested, I have all these PowerPoints and more on the CD, and they're for anybody. They're not copyrighted. You can use them in your own presentations or to give them to a friend who's interested in creation evangelism. Nazism and Darwinism. The German Fuhrer consciously sought to make the practice of Germany conform to the theory of evolution, according to Sir Arthur Keith in Evolution and Ethics. In 1936, the German Supreme Court refused to recognize Jews living in Germany as persons in the legal sense. Why? Because Hitler believed in survival of the fittest. Hitler believed that the Germans, I'm part German, I'm part Indian, part German. Germans were the master race. Germans, the Aryans, were to rule the Jews, which he called half-apes, between ape and monstrosities between ape and man. Hitler's plan for Christianity. He planned to take over the churches, and he planned to kill the leaders and put them in concentration camps. He planned to make the Christian church conform to the interest of the state. That's what the previous. I can't go back, ladies and gentlemen, because of technical problems, but that's what the other slide said in a nutshell. And you can go to you can look that up on the internet. In fact, that's on the CDs. According to Hitler's secret conversations, he said, the best thing is to let Christianity die a natural death. We see to it that the churches cannot spread abroad the teachings in conflict with the interest of the state. Hitler was no friend of Christianity. How many here have heard that Adolf Hitler was a Christian? Okay. Well, Adolf Hitler was not a Christian. He grew up a moderate, a nominal Catholic, okay? I submit to you he was not a born-again Christian. I've encountered many atheists on the message boards that have said and claimed that he was a Christian. He wasn't a Christian. He was an evolutionist who believed, by the way, Friedrich Nietzsche, famous German atheist of the early 1900s, was one of his heroes. He presented Stalin. He sent his foreign minister, von Ribbentrop, to Moscow in 1941. And he presented Stalin when they signed the non-aggression pact before he invaded the Soviet Union. And he presented Stalin with a copy of Friedrich Nietzsche's writings. Hitler on evolution and Christianity. The deliberate lie in the matter of religion was introduced into the world by Christianity. Let it not be said that Christianity brought man the life of the soul, for that evolution was in the natural order of things. Thank you, Mr. Darwin. Darwinism and Nazism. Mein Kampf is my struggle. Hitler used the German word for evolution, Entwicklung, over and over again in his book. In fact, it is not unreasonable to suppose that the very title itself of Hitler's book, My Struggle, was influenced by the subtitle, Darwin's subtitle.